is a clay corner now. Your 2019 Roland Garros champion.
It's incredible, it really is. I never dreamt and never had in my wildest dreams that I'd win here in Paris. It's just been a remarkable 2 weeks.
Two years removed from her first Grand Slam title, Ash Barty opens the year as the world #1, followed by Simona Halep and Naomi Osaka. Sophia Kenin, the lone American in the top 10. Well, let's discuss the 2021 expectations for three women who have all won major titles after the last 2 years. Let's begin, Jim, with Ash Barty, who we just saw there, has not played since Doha last February. Didn't think it was worth the risk to travel to the U.S. or Paris. So what do you think we'll see from her in Australia?
It's anyone's guess, isn't it? I mean, we know from her interviews that she has been training, but she's been training apart from her coach, Craig Tyser. They live in separate states, and they've had quarantine issues, not been able to get together. They've been Zooming and doing things like that. She says she's fit. She's done a lot of work on her fitness. We'll see about the game. I mean, that's a long stretch for a player not to play tournaments. Well, let's keep in mind, she's a player who took a couple of years off and came back and got to #1 in the world. So I love her game. She's got a lot of variety, a lot of margin for error in it. I'm excited to see what she can bring because she has such a different look and feel to her game than most of the other players in that top 10.
Now, it'll be interesting to see also how the fan expectation is for Barty playing at the Australian Open. You could feel it last year. She lost to Kenin in the semifinals on a really hot day, and it looked like the pressure got to her just a little bit. She was an overwhelming favorite. I wonder if that's lessened at all by not having a full crowd or if she's impacted by not having as many fans cheer for her. Some players really feel the burden when they're playing in their home country. Be interesting to see if she feels more relaxed. I'm back being able to play tennis. I haven't played in almost 12 months. Or if she feels a little bit crippled by the pressure.
It's always tough because even just going into Australia without the pressure of being the hometown favorite, without the kind of question marks around having been off for that amount of time, you still have jitters. You still, first match of the year, even if it was only 6 weeks since you played a match, is always a weird one. So it's going to be really tough to kind of predict what she's going to do, what she's going to see. If I'm her, I'm hoping I kind of have a nice handshake into the draw. If anyone wants to avoid a sleeper, someone who kind of plays awkwardly, something that looks a little different, it's going to be someone like Ash Barty. She's going to want someone who plays a pretty traditional game, pretty straightforward. She's going to want to get some reps in, hit a bunch of balls in those early matches.
Well, she said if she could pick one player to practice with first in 2021, it was Simona Halep. So we'll see if they're practice partners in Australia. Matt Fitzgerald had a great conversation with Ash that you can find right now on tennis.com. Meantime, the only teenager in the top 20 right now is Iga Swiatek, coming off an incredible run in Paris, won her first major at Roland Garros. Then, Lindsay, she goes and switches rackets from Prince to Technofiber.
The deals come when you win Grand Slams. It's never advised to maybe make that big a change. Certainly not for the money. Let's hope it wasn't for that. But how impressive was Swiatek in Paris? 7 matches, didn't lose a set. Only lost 4 games a couple of different times. And she was just amazing for those 2 weeks in Paris. It was fun to see her game come all together. And she never blinked. She never crumbled under the pressure. She got better and better in each match. The bigger the match, the better she played. It was fun to watch that from a teenager, not get scared of the moment. Love her game, all-court game. She continues to improve. Love the way she talked about working with a mental coach and how much that has helped her. She's going to be around for a while. I wonder, though, if the pressure will be a lot for her to kind of back up that Grand Slam win right off the bat. I give her to 2022, I think, is going to be her best year.
Let's be very, very clear about something. When you win the French Open out of nowhere in an extremely dominant fashion, and then you switch rackets, it is because of the money. Let's be very clear about that. It's going to be interesting because, coming out of nowhere, being dominant, having that great run, is she sitting back and going, wait, did I just play great tennis? Or am I this person who is potentially a top 3, top 2? Am I a 6-time Grand Slam winner, or was this kind of out of nowhere? And can I sustain it? Can I back it up? From everything that I saw at Roland Garros, she didn't just squeak through and win that tournament. She was dominant. I mean, she was taking people out. People were having a hard time winning games, kind of like her co-winner Rafa Nadal. It'll be exciting to see what she brings and how that translates to the different surfaces.
Yeah, this is one of those scenarios where it really accentuates what a shame it was that we weren't able to have the full season. She wasn't able to stretch off of that run in Paris, take it to Asia, take it to the finals, and see how she matches up against the top players now with that new confidence and that new belief and the new understanding that she can not only just play with the best, she can dominate them, and she can do it rather easily. It didn't look like she was stressing too much with her game. She certainly was really relaxed. You saw a lot of her doing breathing exercises and meditation on the change of ends. So will she be able to replicate that now? Was that an anomaly, or is that really who she is? Changing a racket, it's a risk. Maybe she's one of these players who has a junior change rackets every year, and it's not that big of a deal. Would have been stressful on me for sure, because I'd never change rackets. But, you know, money does talk, Andy. I know you know that. You're fairly commercial these days.
Just to be clear, the racket she's switching to is what she played with until she was 12. So she has played with this frame before.
There you go. Fountain of information.
Jim, I just want to... I need to clear some up with Jim real quick. So you said you never switch rackets. So are you saying that red, white, and blue thing that you had for a hot minute was actually the pro staff? Are we breaking crazy news right now?
So the facts are, it was a pro staff. They painted it different colors. I played one tournament with it, lost to your former coach, Brad Gilbert, tore the deal up and said, I'm going to play with him with the old paint. So
yeah. If I would have lost to Brad, I would have. Listen, money's not everything, Jim. I would have torn that up too.
Oh, goodness.
Are we ready to go to break yet?
No, we got a lot more to talk about.
Okay, go for it.
All right, well, we're talking Bianca Andreescu.
Oh, let's go, baby. That's right.
That's right. Andy, when we first had you on Tennis Channel, I think it was Lindsay asked you, who do you really like to watch on the men's and women's side, a young player? You said it was Bianca Andreescu, the young Canadian, who at that point was coming off of obviously winning the U.S. Open as a teenager. We didn't get to see her play at all last year. She still is ranked 7 because of how they've modified the ranking system. But what do you expect to see from Bianca Andreescu after not playing since October of 2019?
Yeah, I mean, she was dominant in 2019 when she was healthy. I mean, she was beating top 10 players left and right. It was routine for her to get through the best players in the world. Even when she won the U.S. Open, and it was in impressive fashion against Serena Williams, amongst others, but there was some concern. She plays a very physical style of game, sliding everywhere, kind of throwing the body everywhere. She kind of turns it into a street fight. It is amazing theater, but even then we were asking, gosh, is the body going to hold up? So I'm going to be very curious to see how she shows up. Is she in shape? Is there something she's doing differently for the body and the things that have kind of caused her pain and injury since that amazing U.S. Open run? I, for one, am a fan of hers. I think on their best days, I think she's one of the few that can actually go toe-to-toe as far as weight of shot and athleticism with Naomi Osaka in this kind of up-and-coming generation. I'd like to see her healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. And Andy's right. I mean, there's some tennis players whose bodies just break down, and she's had a whole host of different injuries, right? We had the arm, then we had the knee that's really kept her out. That is a little bit concerning for such a young player. When she's healthy, when she's on, we saw how well she could play in 2019. It will be very interesting to see her in Australia. As you said, Steve, 14, 15 months since we've last seen her play. It takes a little while to get back into the flow of playing matches for most players. Some players have that extraordinary ability. They slide right back in it. But how to play points, how to anticipate certain shots. She's a shot maker, and she's got a lot of different choices out there. I think she gets better when she gets a few more tournaments under her belt. To start off right away in such a big scene in Australia, a lead-up tournament at Melbourne Park, and then the Australian Open, we just hope that her body kind of holds up and she's able to play.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, along with Ash Barty, Andreescu has the most variety in her game of any women out there. I love watching her problem solve out there. She's a great shot maker when she needs to be, but she can also moonball with the best of them. It's throwback time to our Tracy Austin. She throws up the big skyscrapers, and all of a sudden, no one knows what to do with it. And then she's got the slice. She'll come to the net. I mean, she's got a lot of options. The biggest thing, obviously, is her health. But, man, the game does need her back. She's a bright star, major champion, all that stuff. We can't wait to see her.